Alright, in this video we're going to see how easy it is for you to provision the storage within your Winchester Systems FlashNAS ZFS product so that you can allocate storage and provide it to your end users. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the storage icon. And again, you'll see that there's 4 subcategories here, one for creating and managing virtual storage pools. Again, all storage is presented in terms of pools here. Volumes, again, these are iSCSI volumes that if you were using the iSCSI protocol and you wanted to provide block storage to any of your hosts, this would be a way that you could configure them and manage them. Disks we talked about previously in the other video. This will show you a list of all the drives that are in your configuration, and also if you had SSDs you can click on the SSDs tab and you would see information about the SSDs. But let's just go here and we'll select pool. You'll see that it talks about the existing pool that's already on this FlashNAS ZFS array, but I'm going to create a new pool here. So we just select create and you'll see it's a very easy and straightforward process. By default, it just increments the pool names, but you can give them any names you would like. So instead of using default, let's call it Pool Joe. In this pull down, you'll see the available RAID levels. RAID 0, which basically is striping, and there's no redundancy in that, so it's a non-fault tolerant RAID type. There's RAID 1, which is a simple mirroring. RAID 5, which is a parity-based schema where you have a single parity, and RAID 6, which is a dual parity. RAID 1 is a high performance but with a lot of overhead in terms of capacity used for mirroring. RAID 5 and 6 give you availability via parity and a higher degree of capacity, but the trade-off there is for performance. So let's just, for ease of use here, we'll do a simple RAID 1. You'll see here that it talks about the owner, and what you can do for performance characteristics is you can split the pools over the 2 controllers. So let's pick controller B. Down below you'll see a list of all the available drives in this array that are accessible and ready to make a pool out of. So what we're going to do is we will select 2 drives. So we'll just pick slot 5 and 6. One other interesting thing, if you were to select for RAID 1 and you selected 4 drives, it would actually build a RAID 10 configuration for you. So it's a very intuitive and very user-friendly means of creating pools for you. So we've created and we've selected the 2 disks. We'll use slot 5 and 6 like I said. Click on the next button. If I had SSDs, this is where I would be allowed to select an SSD to configure what they call the ZIL, and you could do a fault tolerant ZIL here, which is nice. It gives you availability and performance characteristics. Since I don't have any SSDs in this array at this point, you literally just select next, skip that. If you had SSDs, you could also use them for what's called the Z2 ARC. And the Z2 ARC is really more like a read cache, whereas the ZIL is more like a write cache. You could think of it that way. Again, these are both optional. They're not required. If you wanted to configure an automatic spare, so this is where if a drive fails, it can automatically take it out of service and bring in a spare disk and do a rebuild. So, this is a great feature for configurations that have spare drives in them. It makes it even higher availability than if you didn't have spares, and it makes it a completely automatic process to recover from a drive failure. Before you create your pool, you'll see it's going to give you a summary. So again, pool name, Pool Joe, 2 drives, it's a RAID 1. The available size, so it calculates how much available space would be there based on the drive types and quantities. I've got no ZIL, I've got no ZARC, and I've got no spare drives. So we'll just go and click OK. And in the background, it is going off and creating the pool for you now automatically. All right, so our pool has been created. So here's the new pool that we just created. If you click on Details, you can actually see that it's doing a simple mirror, RAID 1, and it's showing you if there were any errors. At this point, we don't have any errors, and what drives were part of this mirror at this point. All right, now what I'm going to just do is create a folder using this pool, and that will be the end of this video. So to create a pool, to create a folder under the pool, you just select the folder option, and you click Share, and it shows you the current folders that are already on the ZFS array. You'll see that we already had one called NAS2-folder1. I'm going to add another folder. And I could have either added it to the existing pool, Pool 1, or I'm going to add it to Pool Joe. And I can call this folder anything I want, so let's call it New Folder. By default, we have it set up so that it's read and write for all users. And you can select options, and here's where you can set up things like a quota. So for example, if you didn't want a specific folder to use all of the space in the pool, you could limit the size. You can either set up a minimum quota so that it kind of guarantees space, or a maximum quota prevents you from growing too large. You can turn on and off built-in deduplication. You can turn on and off compression and antivirus support. We do not recommend you use disable transaction log. That would really prevent you from having as high degree of availability, and it's something that we really don't recommend. So on this specific one, I'm just going to do compression, and I'm going to turn on a quota, and I'm going to say that the maximum I would ever want this folder to grow to is 10 gigabytes. So I've set the options up. Click OK. And you'll see that it's created the folder, and it also tells you what the shared folder or export path is for this new folder. And so there you have it. So we've created a folder. You'll see that this folder is only accessible via CIFS, the SMB protocol. If we wanted to change any of the characteristics, we would just highlight it and click on Edit, and you'll see that we could change the access controls, the access rights. So the owner has full access. The group that the owner is part of has a lesser degree of access, and then you can see that everyone else has a certain degree of access, so that's something that you can modify here. You can conversely do forbids, so it's either allows or forbids. Conversely, you can also set up here and add in if you wanted NFS or if you wanted Apple File Protocol. All right, so that's just a quick and simple overview of how easy it is to create storage pools and then to create folders underneath those pools. Thank you.